This is Dave with SNORR, currently en route to PWC Beach at Lake Mead. We got a call from the rangers there that there is I believe it's a Chevy 2500 that is partially submerged and stuck in some mud. I'm going to be meeting our other SNORR members, Tim, Will, and Dakota. They are all en route right now. We don't have an exact location, but the ranger is staying with the vehicle and has his lights on, so we'll be able to find him pretty easily. And I should be there in about 20 minutes, so we'll have an update here once we get on scene. I'm just turning off the highway towards PWC Beach here on Lakeshore Road, and we should be able to see the Rangers' lights out here off in the distance. Yep, I can see them flashing out there. I don't know if that's showing on camera, but I see the Rangers' lights, so we're gonna make our way down the road and head over there.
I'm Will. And I'm Tim. And we're gonna go over this video of this guy who's decided to park his truck in the middle of the lake. Right now you see Brandon. He's one of our other members that helps out from time to time. And that's Will's Suburban there.
Brandon's right now rigging up we have a bridle rigged up to the front tow hooks of the truck that's in the water, and we're using a kinetic rope to keep tension on the winch line when we stop to try and ease him out of any sort of mud that could be there. And we're rigging to a double line pull with the snatch blocks. That way we double our winch power.
Copy, I hear you.
So you hear that little bit of knocking noise in the background, and later in the video you'll find out what that was. So we use the kinetic rope in this pole to help assist the winch in pulling, because it keeps constant tension on the line.
Go ahead. Go!
We're going to do tail second first and then stop after that.
It's right here for that first pull.
Now the truck's run out of gas, so he's just in neutral. We're going to give it another shot and see if it'll start to move. Either we're going to add another winch, or we're going to send somebody to get gas so we can have the truck move.
In the first parts of our pull, we just wanted to try and keep it slow to determine how much weight we were actually going to be pulling, because we don't want to overload our gear and our equipment, and put ourselves into a situation where we're going to have pieces of gear flying and someone could potentially get hurt, or the vehicles get damaged or anything like that.
So although it doesn't look like it, we're making very, very slow progress here in moving it. You can see where the water lines changed a little bit. We've now got them out of a hole, but
all the way to the left. When the truck ran out of fuel, as we drug him forward, the tires turned to the left and he couldn't stop it because he didn't have any power steering. So our options are to either let the truck roll backwards into the hole that it was in and hope that the wheels straighten out, or just keep pulling him forward and have him keep pressure to the right so that the wheels straighten as we pull forward.
Right,
so we're going to try and keep pulling him forward, so we don't want the truck to drop back into the hole that it was in. And we have to take into account that you can't really see it, but there is a jet ski trailer in the water behind the truck there as well.
Right there, instead of continuing to pull him and pull the wheel straight, we had him run the starter on the truck to spin the power steering pump that would allow him to more easily turn the wheels back to straight ahead, instead of letting him fall back and lose the progress that we had just made, or potentially having him go further off to the left and again put more strain on our equipment.
so we also decided at this point that it was a good idea to go ahead and load his Sea-Doos on the trailer, even though it added quite a bit of weight for us to have to pull out. But At the same time, we didn't have people that were able to operate the Sea-Doos to go over to the launch ramp, which would be the right place to load this, and it also was there's some hazards involved in this recovery that we're not going to talk about. Now that we've got him recovered far enough where we can safely connect to him, we're going to pull him out with a kinetic rope. At least we'll get him out of the water here at first, and then we'll eventually tow him to the road.
Truck's in neutral, brakes off, you're cleared full.
And you can see that kinetic rope stretched quite a bit there. It's probably right at its maximum.
And all that noise, that squeaking noise that's coming from the video is rocks that are built up in the between the brake pads and the rotors in the truck from him sitting in the water and continuing to spin the tires when other people were trying to help him. Rocks just got everywhere into all the suspension that we under the truck.
You can see where there's some attempts made with some previous ropes on here. We're not able to help pull them out. We use the factory connection points to soft shackles connected to a tree saver and loop that right through a stretchy rope. And that's what allowed us to maintain tension even when the truck rolled forward in the mud.
Another really good point is to always make sure that you're using gear that's rated for your recoveries. Those ropes that they were using previously weren't rated anywhere near what that truck weighs. The truck weighs probably close to 12,000 pounds, and those ropes were rated for maybe 500 pounds. So it's really important to make sure that you are keeping in mind the weight and mire factor when doing recoveries.
So you can see the damage that he's done to his wheel by spinning there. The unseen damage is inside that fender well. There's a connector that's pretty important to the vehicle that's ripped in half and wires ripped out of it because of spinning tires and kicking up rocks.
Yeah. Dad. Yeah. Can you try to go on the back side of the upper ball joint?
Oh, look at those rocks.
Right here we're trying to air up the tires because we were under the impression that the truck just needed diesel and tires aired up and that we would be able to start it. But right here I pulled the dipstick out of the truck and found out that there was water that had gotten into the oil, and that rendered the vehicle unable to drive out whatsoever.
So that the noise that we mentioned earlier in the video is actually engine knocking because it's got water in the fuel, water in the oil,
Just checking to see where the water got.
and I'm gonna guess the transmission's probably full of water. And then this joker shows up here. He was supposed to bring us diesel fuel, but obviously we didn't need him, so he just came to hang out for a while.
Elastic rope right now, a recovery rope, and putting some tension, and then we will tow the RO's vehicle up to pavement. So we've got it hooked up to the factory tow point using a soft shackle, and then using a soft shackle to that
And
same
right here we
grade 10
decided
bolt that we used
to
earlier.
have me in the driver's seat of the vehicle because the owner of the vehicle was an older gentleman, and we weren't comfortable with him and his strength to be able to drive, to be able to turn the steering wheel while the truck was off with no power steering to get it back to the road. So right now we have my dad in his truck towing the truck with the Sea-Doos. I am in the truck driving, and Dave is in the bed of my dad's truck filming.
And as always, we only move people to pavement. If it's other than that, you know, you need a tow truck. We don't cross the line and do towing.
We're on our way out. The RO's vehicle is up on pavement. The park rangers are with him and waiting for the tow truck to come tow him and his jet ski trailers. Fortunately, he's not able to drive out due to some damage from water in the oil. Looks like there's some water in the fuel as well. And a lot of rock damage from him spinning his tires in the rocky lake bed as he sank down. So he's going to get towed, get the vehicle fixed, but otherwise we are done. We had some really good teamwork, a lot of SNORR members showing up tonight, and so we are going to call it a night.